You want to know how life changes in the blink of an eye? Picture this. 3 in the morning, snow coming down so hard it turns the world ghost white, and out of nowhere, this tiny German Shepherd pup, maybe 12 weeks old and shaking all over, just stands in the middle of Route 49. Not running, not cowering, not doing anything a normal creature would do when a car barrels toward it in a Montana blizzard, just barking its lungs out at my headlights like it had a message for the universe. I slammed the brakes, hard in my throat, skidding a little, wondering what kind of idiot left a puppy out here, or, God help us, who could be cruel enough for this? I was not myself that night. Name's Dean Callahan. Or at least it was when people still called me a cop. These days, after an op gone wrong, a partner dead, badge locked away, I was just a guy in a gray Dodge Charger, exiled by my own guilt, driving nowhere with no destination but away from what I couldn't forget. Maybe you know that feeling, when the world seems to turn its back and the only thing left is to keep moving so the memories can't catch up. Yeah, that was me. So, this pup, he doesn't back down. When I step out, boots crunching on snow, he runs straight up, grabs my coat, and pulls, like, "Come on, fool, you're not the one who needs saving." I let out a breath, muttered, "You've got to be kidding me," and followed him right off the road and deep into the woods, flashlight bouncing off the trunks, half expecting to walk into a bear trap or a moose. And there, in a tangle of ferns, I find her, a full-grown shepherd, his mom, caught in a rusty illegal trap, blood and ice all over her leg. She doesn't bark, she doesn't even whimper. Just stares at me, proud and broken, ribs showing, breath coming slow. That pup, he's whining and licking her ear, refusing to give up. Let me tell you, I've seen men with less fight in them. My hands were shaking not from cold, but from something bigger, fear, maybe, or shame. I managed to get the trap open with a multi-tool, cursing under my breath, wrapped her leg best I could, bundled them both up in my flannel and emergency blanket. No cell service, of course. Welcome to Timber Ridge, population zero when you need help the most. I tried the old satellite radio from my glove box. Miracle of miracles. Ranger ops picked up. "Sit tight, we're coming." But the woods, they never give up that easy. Wolves, that's what came next. Eyes glowing green from the tree lean. Growls low enough to turn your blood cold. My sidearm was in the car, rookie move. I thought I'd screwed us all. But that little pup, Scout, I'd start calling him. He squared up, back arched, tiny voice turning into a growl that filled the whole night. And damn if his mother, even half dead, didn't join him. I stood there, breath frozen, as two shepherds, a puppy and a wounded queen, faced down the wild. The wolves faded into the dark, and I started to remember what courage looks like. We made it through the night, building a lean-to out of pine trunks and shivering together, 3 broken souls in a sea of snow. Luna, that's what I called her, because even wrecked and bleeding she had a kind of moonlit calm. She let me splint her leg. Scout wouldn't leave her side, and I sat there with them, realizing maybe this was the first time in months I'd been needed. Maybe, in a way, I was being rescued too. Meanwhile, back at the station, Officer Maya Lee was worrying. Maya's tough, Portland transplant, ex-vet school, lost her brother to a hit-and-run nobody ever solved. She has instincts you can't teach. She saw my radio check-in was missing and didn't wait for orders, just grabbed her parka and gear and barreled out into the night. You want to know what real backup looks like? It's not a SWAT team. It's someone who knows when you're lost and doesn't ask permission to come find you. She found us by dawn, breathless, face red, gun drawn but low, eyes going straight to Luna's mangled leg. "We gotta get her out," she said, voice steady, no questions about why I was there or what the hell I'd done to deserve her help. Together we carried Luna, me, Scout, Maya, across frozen creeks and through fog so thick you could drown in it. Somewhere in the mist, a gunshot cracked. Maya fired a warning shot right back. Whoever was out there, whoever set those traps, they were close and they wanted us scared. But we didn't stop. We reached the rescue team as the sun broke through, weak and gold. Luna went straight to surgery at Timber Ridge Wildlife Center. The vet, Dr. Cho, she's a legend, lost an ear to frostbite, never lost a patient she could save. For hours later, Luna was alive, her leg ruined forever, but her spirit unbroken. Scout, man, that pup would not move from the glass wall of the recovery room, wouldn't eat, wouldn't drink, just watched and waited. I knew that look. I'd worn it myself after Travis died. Later that night, Maya handed me a file. "Caleb North," she said. "The poacher I'd put away years ago, back in town, setting traps, shooting at animals, and maybe us. It wasn't just about cruelty. It was payback, and it was a sickness." Maya set up cameras, I installed lights, and Scout became my partner. I adopted both dogs, couldn't help myself. That cabin on the edge of the forest became a home again, not just a hiding place. Every night, Scout patrolled, Luna learned to run on 3 legs, and I started to feel almost whole. Then one morning, Scout went rigid at the porch. Camera caught Caleb, skulking at the edge of the woods, watching. We waited 3 weeks for him to slip. Scout led us straight to his hideout, Maya covering one side, me the other. Caleb tried to fight, pulled a knife, screamed, "Stay back." But Scout tackled him. Luna lunged on 3 legs, and for the first time, I saw what love will do to protect its own. Maya cuffed him. I fired a warning round, and just like that, Timber Ridge got its peace back. You know, nobody puts in the report that it was a broken-legged dog and her son who saved the day. But everyone in town knows. They put up a statue in Riverside Park, a pup in the middle of the road, daring the world to stop and listen. People come from all over, leave little toys and dog treats. Scout stands guard, Luna basks in the grass, and I stand a little taller, badge or no badge, because I remember what it feels like to be brave. You want a moral? You want justice? Sometimes it looks like a courtroom. Sometimes it looks like a rescue. Sometimes it's just a small body with a giant heart, refusing to give up on the world. If you felt something listening to this, if you've ever been saved by a stranger or a stray, tell us in the comments, because stories like this aren't about one hero, but about all of us who choose, every day, to stand up for someone who can't stand up for themselves. Like, subscribe, and share your story. Maybe next time, you'll be the one stopping traffic in the middle of a storm, refusing to let the world look away. You ever notice how, even after the storm passes, the world just refuses to go back to what it was? That's what I learned in the months after we brought Caleb North in. Life at Timber Ridge should have quieted down. Scout grew bigger by the day. Luna learned to run circles around the porch on 3 legs like she'd always meant to dance that way. And Maya, she split her time between patrol shifts and coming by the cabin to make sure I was eating more than canned soup. We all wore scars you couldn't see from the outside. You know what I mean. The local press called it a miracle. The sheriff called it damn fine police work. But anyone who was there knew it was something deeper, some stubborn kind of hope that animals and people like us just refused to let go. You want to know the truth? I started to believe maybe fate sent those dogs for me, not the other way around. Spring turned the world soft. By June, Scout had gone from a scrawny pup to a full-blown sentinel, ears always up, eyes sharp, and a bark deep enough to stop anyone in their tracks. Luna became the queen of Timber Ridge, limping through town to the cheers of school kids and the gentle rubs from the old-timers outside the feed store. But for all the sunshine, some shadows just linger. The poacher ring didn't die with Caleb's arrest. He kept his mouth shut, but the game wardens found more traps every week, some fresh, some rusted into the ground. That's how evil works, right? Cuts off one head and 2 more pop up. Maya and our partners again, official this time. I got reinstated, badge and all, and Scout was in K9 training faster than you could say good boy. The academy chief called him 1 in a million. I called him family. We patrolled together, me, Maya, Scout in the back seat, Luna curled at the cabin window waiting for us to come home. Some nights, we'd find deer limping from snare wounds, or get reports of missing pets. We set up camera traps, led search parties, pieced together clues. I'll be honest, sometimes it felt like trying to hold back the ocean with a handful of sand. Then came the call that changed everything. Late July, heat wave rolling in. Phones down all over town from a blown transformer. I was off shift, Scout sprawled in the shade of the porch, when Maya tore up the gravel drive, dust swirling, panic in her eyes. There's been another attack, this time. A person, she said, voice thin with fear. Kid out hiking with his grandpa. Only the dog made it back. You ever get that cold feeling, like the air's too thick to breathe? Yeah, that's what hit me. We loaded up. Scout jumped into the cruiser before I even called him. Maya gripped the wheel so hard her knuckles went white. Whoever's out there, she muttered, they're not just after animals anymore. The trailhead was crawling with deputies, search and rescue, a couple of feds sniffing for a story. The old man was found fast, shaken, bruised, claiming he'd seen a giant with a rifle and a mask running through the trees. But the kid, a boy named Tyler, was gone, and so was the family dog. An old hound named Daisy.it was Scout, who picked up the scent first, nose down, tail stiff, weaving through brush and fallen logs. I followed, heart racing, Maya close behind, the world narrowing to the sound of my own breath and Scout's determined paws. Half a mile in, he stopped cold, hackles up, low growl rumbling like a warning bell. There, in a thicket, we found Daisy, alive, protecting Tyler, who was shivering but unharmed. I dropped to my knees, every muscle in my body turning to jelly. "You did good, girl," I whispered to the hound, scratching her ears while Tyler sobbed into Maya's jacket. But right then, a shot cracked through the woods, not close, but not far enough. Scout leapt to his feet, eyes locked on the tree line. Maya's voice was all steel. "Get the boy out. I'll cover you." I hoisted Tyler in my arms, calling Scout, and ran like hell through roots and thorns, Daisy limping after us. Maya fired a warning shot, echoing through the valley like a dare. We burst out of the woods as backup arrived, guns drawn, radios squawking. No sign of the shooter, just boot prints, deep and deliberate, leading back toward the old logging road. That night, Timber Ridge felt different. Kids were kept inside. Porch lights burned all night. Fear crept in on the breeze, low, sour, insistent. Maya slept on my couch, rifle within reach. Scout patrolled from room to room, Luna never more than a step away from the front door. I sat at the table, badge heavy on my chest, thinking about the line between courage and stupidity. About what it costs to care. A few days later, the break came. A hidden camera, set by the forestry team, caught a truck with stolen plates driving past the old sawmill, and sitting in the bed, crates of live traps, bags of animal feed, and a masked figure unloading gear. We pieced together a team, waited for nightfall, and rolled out in silence. Scout was wired with a vest, Maya's nerves stretched to breaking. We moved like ghosts through the underbrush, every sense straining for danger. And when the ambush came, it was fast, shots fired, voices shouting, chaos in the dark. Scout tore free, bounding straight for the attacker. I heard the scuffle, snarling, a shout, a sharp yelp. By the time I got there, Scout was holding a man by the arm, refusing to let go, Luna hobbling in from the road barking fury at the world. Maya cuffed the guy, a poacher, all right, but not the only one. We caught 3 more that night, all tied to a bigger ring moving through the northwest, hunting for profit, leaving scars in their wake. In the end, it wasn't the badge, or the rifle, or the law that stopped them. It was 2 dogs, a survivor and her son, who wouldn't let evil walk unchallenged. Timber Ridge came out to watch the perp walk, cheered for Scout, patted Luna, and for once, I let myself believe maybe good really can win if we stand together. So now, when I look out from my porch, Scout by my side and Luna basking in the grass, I see more than scars. I see proof that healing isn't about forgetting the pain, but about choosing to fight for hope anyway. Every time Scout barks at a shadow, every time Luna stands guard on her 3 legs, I remember the night when a little life stood in the snow and refused to let the world turn cold. But let me ask you this. What would you have done, alone in those woods? With fear closing in and only courage left to keep you standing? Would you run, or would you fight for someone who can't fight for themselves? Drop your answer in the comments, share your own story, and don't forget, sometimes the smallest among us are the ones who save us all. Like, subscribe, and stick around. Because as long as there's one dog left willing to stand in the road, this story isn't over yet.